Hello and welcome to the Analyser. We're back at Caulfield this Saturday where we continue to build up towards the Blue Diamond with the Blue Diamond Preludes, and Dave Strehlau joining me as always. Dave, looks a good meeting.
Yeah, it does. A few weeks in a row at Caulfield. The rail now moves out to the 8-metre position, but as is similar to last week, there is a little bit of a southerly, so we'll have a look at those conditions. It's going to be a good 4. Again, beautiful summer's weather in Melbourne, but those winds are from the south, so they're a tailwind from that 1,200-metre chute. I expect races south of 1,600 metres on-speed runners to be performing best.
Yep.
However, as opposed to the last couple of weeks, now with the rail 8 metres, I'm expecting lanes 3+ to be best. So on pace, off fence, the perfect run.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be an advantage, particularly from, as you said, the 1,200 metre starts to be on speed there at Caulfield on Saturday. We kick things off over 2,000 metres, and we got one of the shorter price favourites of the day in Ambassadorial. Well supported there with Ladbrokes, $2.70 into $2. Then it's Only Wish, Bluestone, Hurry Curry and Global Clips, who are all rated the main dangers. But he's a dominant favourite, Dave, and I think with good reason here, Ambassadorial. He's come back well for the McAvoy stable, and he was, I think, pretty unlucky not to win what looked a much stronger race last time out.
He was a tragedy beaten. He was leaders back in a fast race first up at Flemington, beaten by Fiorno and Yes I Know as well. And that form proved to be the key reference in this race at Flemington. He wasn't bang up on speed, but the tempo was very fast and he absorbed it. And if Yes I Know doesn't run out, he wins the race, plain and simple. So I think he was very unlucky. The horse that holds on for fourth, went to Sandown and won pretty easily since as well. His huge advantage here is the only other potential leader in the race has been scratched, and he's hard fit through fast races. One of his biggest dangers in Bluestone is first up straight to 2,000 metres. And the mares I Only Wish and Hurry Curry, well, they were a query in a strong 2,000 metres. They need it to be a dash home to beat him. So if he makes use of that fitness advantage third up through a fast race and makes this a test and ramps it up a long way from home, I'm struggling to see him being caught, and he's the best bet on the program.
I tend to agree. I think he's the best bet on the card. I think he can go to the front and be very hard to get past. So, yeah, $40 the win for me. I think he's the best of the day there, Ambassadorial, and he has the strongest form and looks really ready to win. So let's have a look at a market now with Ladbrokes for race 2. And, well, if Ambassadorial doesn't start the shortest price favourite on the program, maybe Suntora will. $1.95 in from 280, so a good go here as well. Magnuspin and Berkeley Square, who were rated the main dangers early, have both been quite easy as Suntora dominates the betting. Well, let's have a look at why she dominates the betting, Dave. It was a really dominant performance last time out on a day that was otherwise dominated by the leaders.
Yeah, this was against the pattern of the day. Granted, it was a longer race, but she still did it sort of back circling and wide and was the only horse to do it on the program. Just have a look at the way she takes into this race. We've had the horse on the quick backup Stylish Secret subsequently win. Active Duty goes around Friday in the Colac Cup to see if that form can be franked, but geez, this was outstanding. She's racing well. She's holding form deep into the preparation. I don't know if this race will be quite as fast run as last week, but Magnuspin at least copped some pressure from Slane, potentially mix it as well. So barrier 1 is the issue. If she doesn't get a run at a key stage, she might be left with too much to do, but I'm just banking on her getting out in time. With 51 kilos after that claim, the form that she's in, the last start number that she ran, all she needs is clear air.
Yeah, I didn't love that race last time out, but I couldn't really poke too many holes in her. I tried to get her beaten and couldn't really. I think she deserves to be the price she is. I don't think there's a lot of value. I'm not going to bet in the race, but I can't knock her at all, Suntora, as the dominant favourite of race 2 there at Caulfield. Market for race 3, well, this is the other horse in the conversation for starting the shortest price favourite on the program. It's Guest House, $1.95 ahead of his second start. High Alert Luckless last time out, $7.50 into $6. Then you've got Eternal Warrior and Stretton Ruler, both coming through the Merson Cooper at $7. And Euro Canto, an interesting runner, Dave, who was scratched from the Blue Diamond preview as a favourite, now $8.50. Let's have a look at the jump out from Guest House. He's the horse dominating the market. He couldn't have gone much better, could he? I guess the form out of his debut win is only fair, but I think there were some circumstances that day that probably meant there was a lot more merit to that performance than just the raw victory itself.
Yeah, he was 3 wide, no cover, so there was merit to the performance, and it still was relatively soft on the line. This is his jump out since. The concluding stages of the jump out visually are very impressive. The little concern is early in the jump out when they're going jump out tempo. He's reefing, he's pulling, he's still doing a few things wrong, but it looks like there's a bit of substance for him for the future. To be honest, if this was a blue diamond, hypothetically, I'd be happy to take $1.95 more so than today, just a high pressure race. There's not much pressure in this race, and that could be his undoing, but I think he is a rightful favourite.
Could potentially go forward as well to offset that. Let's have a look at the preview. So we're going to the Prelude. This is the preview. Horses to keep an eye on. Look, Invicto was on debut, gets the blinkers, which I think is a big plus, but High Alert should have won this race.
Invicto is a good blinkers candidate because he sort of floated. I think he wants 1,200 metres, but he sort of floated and then came through the line. High Alert was held up and then had to come back to the outside and copped a big bump. And to do that on your debut and then pick back up, there's a lot of merit to that performance. Ali Barber's going to Inglis Millennium up in Sydney, which is a deep race. But High Alert's the one through this you'd want to follow, but it's more so how much you want to trust the eye versus the rating and how unlucky he was, because the girls that day outstripped them. They were out faster, home faster as well. So I'm not completely sold on that race, and maybe it was just a flashing light because he got out a little bit late. I've sided with Guest House, Eurocanto, who was scratched from that preview. Eternal Warriors won at Caulfield as well. Outside of the favourite, it's a bit of a raffle. I think he's the best winning hope, but just sort of around even money, just with some queries on the tempo, I was happy to stay out.
Yeah, I'd much rather back Ambassadorial, and I'd also rather have something on Suntora ahead of Guest House. It's the same prices. But if at this stage, I do think the biggest overs is Eurocanto. Like, it's a significantly longer price than what he was going to start in the preview when he was scratched at the gates. But not a betting race for either Dave or I. The boys' version of the Blue Diamond Prelude. Let's head to a break here on the Analyser. On the other side, we'll see if there's any bets in the girls' version. Welcome back to the Analyser. Time now to get a market with Ladbrokes for the Blue Diamond Phillies Prelude, and Streisand's been heavily backed here, 5 into 310. Buena Spirit 5 into 370. There, of course, is the deductions for Jacaranda coming out. Got Ruby's Choice at 7, Medicinal at 8, and I Am Aria a $10 chance. Will several of these fillies come through the Blue Diamond Preview, Dave, which was a big advantage to be closer to the speed because of the pace of the race and the pattern on the day. I thought with that in mind, Streisand's effort was terrific. First up off only the one jump out and hits the line. It was fastest last 200 of the meeting.
It was. I really liked the transparency of Clinton McDonald in the media prior to this race as well. He said she's got enough prize money, she's heading towards the diamond. First up one trial, we're just going to ride her cold, let her hit the line. That's exactly what they did. So they would have been really pleased with the performance. The winner, was it I Am Aria? No, I Am Aria was the leader. Ruby's Choice was sort of slow away and then floated up, got the right run relative to that race. But Streisand now, it is a nice setup when you've gone back, you've been ridden quiet, you've hit the line hard, and then you rise in distance second up and you can take a more forward position.
Exactly. There's a lot in her favour. Let's have a look at Buena Spirit, who was a great performance winning her second start. So she's 2 from 2, won a moderate race in Adelaide, but did it impressively on debut. And look, you can tie this form in directly through the replay we just looked at, can't you?
You can. Garner Zakan was 3 wide this day, granted, and on debut, but Buena Spirit was able to beat that filly 2 lengths, and then Garner Zakan was beaten 1.8 lengths in the preview. So it's a direct form comparison. I don't be too worried about the 5 weeks between runs as well, because this performance was 5 weeks between runs, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with her jump out at Flemington. It was very similar to the one that she had between runs after her debut win at Morphettville. I didn't have a great deal between her and Streisand. I think she's a bit of a race day filly, and she's 2 from 2. Obviously, they've all got upside at this stage of their career, but she keeps progressing the way she is. She can win this race. I didn't have much between her and Streisand. I don't want to bet into the race. Almost an Angel was good on debut, excusing the Merson Cooper. Jump out was good. Barrier a little bit tricky, but I'm staying out.
I'm going to back Streisand here. I think it's a really nice setup. with such a good run first up, one jump out, can settle a lot closer. So I'm going to back her. Just whether I say if Moana Spirit is my little query, I do think she's the main danger to Streisand. But keen on the chances for Streisand for Clinton McDonald, who's going really well at the moment. We're going to mark it for the Autumn Stakes here for the 3-year-olds. Planet Red well supported into favouritism, 550 to 360. Observer, the top weight's been 3 to 390. Davita's at 6. Beclure at 9. And then there has been a little bit of specking for Honovuton, I should say, 19 into $15. Dave, you're going to make a case for Beclure here, who's at $9 outside of the favourites. And he's one of these horses that's got to run under the belt.
Yeah, on face value, his first up performance was pretty poor. But he was wide, no cover. He had a big weight. He was apprentice-ridden first up off a pretty solid spell as well. And it was also a day that was difficult to make ground. He's subsequently gone back to the jump outs, had a 1,200-metre hit out, so he's going to be a lot fitter. He's actually beaten Observer in the past as well, and the form around him as a 2-year-old in some of those races at Flemington was very good. So second up now, a senior jockey goes on. He draws well. I don't think they'll... There's a little bit of tempo in this race. I don't imagine him in the 1-1, but maybe 3 pairs back. I thought he was the value in the race because he does have a bit of quality about him.
Yeah, and I'm also keen to be with a horse here that's got to run under the belt in Honovuton, who's rising sharply in grade, but did show a little bit of class as a 2-year-old and placing in a size produce. This was not a great day to be wide without cover, which is basically where Honovuton was for much of the race. He was first up in maiden grade, but has beaten 2 subsequent winners out of this race. He's had a quiet jump out between runs. I think with the run under the belt, a quiet jump out between runs, a rise in distance, this horse can really improve. And I like what he did there first up. I just think at $15 plus, he represents some each way value in the race. But like you, I'm keen to be against these favourites. Observer, I think there's bigger targets further down the track.
Yeah.
Probably going to be better over further. Planet Red, I don't love the map. Are you betting?
I'm very surprised that the market has come for Planet Red. I think he floats back. He's going to need the run. The stable get them ready first up, but off his jump outs, he probably needs the run and further and observe a bigger target ahead. So I've sided with ones that have the run under the belt. Beclure, I've had something on to win, second up, senior jockey on. And Davita, yes, this is a lot deeper, but she's only had the 7 starts herself and she's been running along at fast tempos. Her jump out between runs at Caulfield was quite good too, and I think she'll lead them up for a long way.
She does look the hard fit, in-form leader. Honovuton for me, I'm just going to have something small, 1x4 on him at the big price. Quite like that maiden win. I've always had a lot of time for him ahead of those class horses. So something small in the each way there for me on Honovuton as we get a market now with Ladbrokes for the Rubiton Stakes for the sprinters, a key Oakley Plate lead up. And hedge has been easy, 270 to 340. The supports come for the 3-year-old Peloton, 460 to 380. Oak Hill has also been easy with a bit of support for Proved on the 4th line of betting, 10 into 750. Hedged was your dominant favourite. He's easing in the market, Dave. He's broken the track record last time out winning the Group 2 Australia Stakes. When he gets things, when he relaxes and can flow and do everything right, he's a pretty talented galloper. My question to you is Barrier 1 a little scary if they don't go quickly and he gets over racing, or is it just a case of this horse is fit, in form and the right favourite?
Barrier 1 is definitely scary. Don't Hope Do presses forward, Proved rolls across. Outside of that, I think they just find their order. So he's probably leaders back. He mixes his form a little bit in. He puts in an absolute beauty and then he can get a bit keen and do a few things wrong. In terms of a setup last start to not get keen, when you break the track record by a full second, it's a pretty good tempo for you to relax, isn't it? So if he repeated that performance, he'd win the race. But I'm a little bit concerned about Barrier 1 and whether or not he can repeat that given that fast time.
I just find him hard horse to trust in general.
He's hard to catch. I keep jumping on and off at the wrong time, but I'm jumping off.
Yep. Let's have a look at the horse that you were jumping on. It's Peloton, who couldn't have trialled much better.
This was a absolutely outstanding trial. He's had a couple of trials leading into this. The latest beat Insurrection and Napoleonic, which was nice work. And he's darted back to the inside and he's very strong through the line in both of his trials as well. And his form last preparation is very good. He was runner up to Sky Glider in a Brian Crowley when he was 3 wide, no cover. And then he came down to Flemington and just completely exploded down the straight during the carnival as well. So, geez, he's the one here that's untapped. I don't see him contesting the lead or anything. He sort of float back off the speed. But while Hedge is sort of tangled up on the inside, I think Jamie Mallon will be improving, and he's got all the upside in the world. I was happy to back him to win over Hedged. Oak Hill, he did enough on his return. Still, even though he's run well, Caulfield 1,100 metres, I prefer him over 1,000.
Possible slow speed 1,100. That's a recipe for him to get over racing, isn't it? Yeah, I struggled with this race. I didn't have as much conviction as you, but came up with the same top selection for the reasons you've outlined. Just what I'll get from Hedge or Oak Hill dented my confidence in the race. But that's a look at the first 6 races at Caulfield. Dave and I are very keen to bet in the quaddie legs. We'll have a look at them on the other side of this break. Welcome back to the Analyser. We'll get a market now for the first leg of the quaddie, the Kevin Heffernan Stakes at Weight for Age. And Zoo Sensation's been backed into favouritism ahead of the class horse Tom Kitten at 350. For Rosie, 8 into 550. You got V8 at 7. And Sandpaper, a big drifter in early betting, 550 out to $10. Bit of speed on paper in this race, Dave, and that might suit the clear class horse in Tom Kitten, who I thought jumped out really nicely.
Well, he's jumped out with Point Barrow, who's in the blue and lime silks, and he's worked equally as well, and she's a sharp sprinter on the way to an Oakley plate. So I thought his work was outstanding. He's clearly the best suited at Weight for Age as a 114 rater. And nothing went right for him last preparation, but he still culminated the prep, beaten 2.5 lengths Chow Wolf, 3.5 lengths Via Sistina. If you go back to last autumn when he was first up in a Group 1 Futurity, he was a tragedy beaten when beaten by Mr. Brightside. He's beaten home I Wish I Win, Pericles, Evaporate. That is the standout form for a race like this. And small field speed on, it just couldn't work out any better for him.
The only worry is if he's back and wide, and that's not the place to be.
Yeah, I'm suspecting rail 8 metres, you can still make some ground with that speed on from the 1,400 metre start point. So I'm happy to take the 350 now because I expect he starts shorter. Yep,
I can certainly understand that. Also, I don't mind in the race at the current prices is V8, and I thought this was an excellent return. You know, he's now the gelded version. We haven't seen him at his best for quite some time. We know he's a Group 1 George Ryder winner at Weight for Age at his best. But I thought, given he was entitled to be underdone first up, to split Hedged and War Machine at a distance short of his best, I actually thought he battled on really nicely here over 1,200. It'll be far better suited second up to 1,400.
This performance rated 2 lengths off his peak performance, which was that George Ryder win. And it's his best performance since that George Ryder, which is some 18 months ago. So he lost his way for a little bit. He got gelded. He didn't come up in Queensland. He saw wet tracks. But that was an encouraging return to form. Barrier 1, there is speed to his outside. Yep. He's got an option to lead, but there's a couple that probably roll across and cross him, but I've got him priced tighter to Zoo Sensation, that's for sure. I am keen on Tom Kitten. I think the speed's there for him. He finishes off over the top. Plymouth, a bolter, I think he's got a bit of upside still, this horse. I thought he trialled really well. And Zoo Sensation, the risk of the day for me, $3. Speed in this race, he's at his best when he controls at sort of average, below average tempos. I don't think he gets that on Saturday.
I'm with you. I think he's too short there, Zoo Sensation. This is a much tougher assignment. I'm with V8 just at the price. I think he might just have a little advantage over Tom Kitten on the map. At the bigger price, I'm going to have something on V8, but I clearly think Tom Kitten is the class horse of the race. We're going to mark it for race 8. Alpha Sophie's been well supported, $3.90 to $3. She's going to have to defy a stable that horses usually improve with a run under the belt. Jenny the Ninja's been back into 550. Signature Scent was back. Now she's back out to 650. Balance, a fascinating debutant at $8.50. And it's Thanks Gorgeous and Escher in what looks a quality edition of the Peter Legrand Stakes. We're going to have a look at a couple of jump outs here, Dave. One of them is Signature Scent, who was ridden really conservatively in this jump out. We know from her race starts that she's got plenty of early speed. What have you made of the way she's come back? And she looks a nice horse in terms of the map, that she's probably going to be just on the back of the leaders.
Her jump out was outstanding, the way that she got to the line. She was on speed in her first jump out. She went back in this jump out, but she was actually half slow. And note they put a barrier blanket on, so they might be a little bit concerned about that. But hopefully she just reverts to what we've seen on race day. She bounces, she's on the back of the speed. Gee, she's still very lightly raced. Her debut performance was good. She mixed it up in town. She's won all against Thanks Gorgeous, who's hard fit as well. So if she can just bounce and use that barrier and just park in behind them, she's the value in the race.
Let's have a look at a jump out here for the Clinton McDonald trained Balance, who's making her debut at stakes level. This was the latest jump out, but if you jump on Racing.com and have a look at the previous jump out, I think you get an even better idea of her ability. I don't think they could have held her any slower in this latest one. The previous one was against, this is also against some very nice horses, but I think both of them suggest this is a filly with a lot of ability.
And considering it was in at Cranbourne on Friday and then they choose this race, they've obviously got a high opinion, and the stable's got some recent history with Rosberg going to a stakes race on debut. But, geez, this is a hot little race. You'd be a Group 1 winner in waiting if you can come out and win this on debut. There's a lot of depth here. Signature Scent on top, $12 to win. I like the jump outs. Alpha Sophie, I love the horse. She's a friend of the Analyser. Her win at Moonee Valley was very good. Her jump outs were good. But I think she's fall back the fence.
So do I.
Probably best case. And 1,100 metres, being just that 100 metres shorter than what we've seen her race over, a little bit of a risk.
Yep, same top pick for me. Signature Scent, I think she's a bet. Great jump out, good map, nice horse. I'm going to have something on Balance as well in this race. I'm just going to have the $8 on Balance. $12 the win on Signature Scent, $8 the win on Balance. So I wanted to find Alpha Sophie, shared the exact same concerns. It's a stable that improve of the run. Map doesn't look great. If she wins this, she might be a Group 1 horse. So a very interesting edition of that race. As we get a market for the penultimate race on the day, it's the MRC Foundation Cup. Rise at Dawn, 4 into 320, well supported. Regal Zeus now out to 550 is interesting. Light Infantryman 8 into 650, and then you've got Willie Do It and Holy Man's in the market with Welcome to the Show. He's the class horse of the race, Rise at Dawn. What have you made of the way he's come back off? A little let up, because we did see him, of course, in the Ingham not that long ago.
His two jump outs have been good. First up last preparation, he struck a very fast 1,400 metre race where he held on quite well at Flemington. He finished next to Transatlantic, and that horse went on to bigger and better things as well. He is a horse that goes forward and has strength as well, so you expect him to jump out in the fashion that he did. Look, that's Aqueduct off his back, arguably outworking him, and he's a benchmark sprinter, but he'll go forward. It's the map for him. He gets a lot of control.
Do you reckon he leads or sits on the back of Regal Zeus?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Either won't shock me.
I think he'll probably sit on the back of this horse because he likes to go fast, Regal Zeus. This is a brilliant ride. Yes, it was advantageous to be on speed, but I think he's a better 1,600 metre horse than he is at 14 Regal Zeus. So Jamie Mott made sure it was a real test there last time out, as opposed to leading at a slow speed where he could have been out-sprinted. It wasn't the most visually impressive performance given how well he was ridden, but I do think he is far better suited to 1,600 metres where he can use his toughness, use his fitness. I think he'll need to beat his best Rise at Dawn to get past Regal Zeus. Are you betting in this one?
I'm not. That was a textbook front-running ride. Rise at Dawn on top, no conviction. Light Infantryman, he is the class horse. Jumped out quite well. Lit Steel, I think she's in for a big autumn, no bets.
I'll be surprised if one of those two leaders doesn't win. I think Regal Zeus will go forward, run a really good 1,600 metre time from the front, and it's just on his back will be Rise at Dawn. It's just whether he can get past him. If they overdo it and they start racing each other too early, then it sets up for the others. But if they get it right up front, I think one of them will win. So I'm going to have main bet Regal Zeus for a good result and make sure I win on the race if Rise at Dawn gets past him. As we get a market now for the last of the day. Aha is your favourite for Clinton McDonald and has been easy, 330 to 370. They've backed Narvold 550 to 460. They've backed Sneaky Sunrise 550 to 460 and also High and Proud 850 into $6.50. But Dave, Aha is your favourite. What about the mile for her? This is a good watch for you and a tough watch for me after she couldn't get past Avita.
Off this run, she's looking for it because she was excellent. She comes off the back of Marigold, who went to Flemington and won a good race subsequent to this over the mile, and gives her windburn and just misses late. The question mark has to be mile first time in 5 weeks between runs, but Clinton McDonald, he scratched to avoid touchdown the other week, probably would have given it windburn, but had a jump out between runs, sort of darted to the inside at Cranbourne and worked quite well. She does get 5 kilos off her back as well. So the way that she's racing, if she holds her last up performance with that weight adjustment, she's the one to beat. I've had a main bet on her And I've just had something small. I've had $3 to win on Grey Ice, who's trialled quite well at Cranbourne.
There you go. I really like the toppy here in Vedad, who I think is a crazy price at $17. They rode him conservatively last time, one out, one back. On paper, it looked a good ride. He's just not the horse to try and out-sprint horses. I think from the wide draw, they roll forward, probably lead and control this race, and I think he'll give you a great sight from the front down in grade. Narbol, Sneaky Sunrise, they're all chances, but Vedad, I'm going to make him my best result on the day. So, seems plenty of bets for you, Dave. How are you keen to attack Caulfield on Saturday?
Terrific betting program, ambassadorial in the first best of the day. Keen Suntora, Prelude, Davida, the fit horses. Peloton, I've loved the trials in Sydney. Tom Kitten, he is the class horse. There's good speed in this race. I expect he floats back, lets that speed go and rips home down the outside. Although I like Alpha Sophie as a filly, I think Signature Sense the value in the race. The jump outs have been very good. I'm having two bets in the last. $25 to win. Love the weight drop, the jump out between runs. She's going well this preparation. And also something small on Grey Ice, who last prep won first up this track and trip.
Dave keen to bet up, and so am I. Ambassadorial's my best. I'm going to have something on Streisand in race 4. I love the setup. On a Rubiton, a good roughie for me in race 5. V8 overs for me in the Kevin Heffernan. I'm with you with Signature Scent. I'm going to have something on Balance as well, the debutant in that race. I like the two-bet play of the two up front. Regal Zeus, Rise at Dawn, come home with Vedad at a big price. That's a look at Caulfield for this week's edition of The Analyser.